from the heart of Dubai, where tomorrow is being built today, to the world. Welcome to the CTO Show with Mehmet. Here, we redefine technology and reimagine possibilities. With Mehmet, delve into the riveting realms of AI, cybersecurity, and digital technology. Experience the thrilling highs and lows of startups. Immerse yourself in the spirit of entrepreneurship and witness the future of business innovation being written in real time. Now, without further ado, let's tune in and explore the future.
Hello and welcome to a new episode of the CTO Show with Mehmet. My name is Mehmet, and as you know, in each episode, I cover different topics related to emerging technologies. We covered a lot so far, from digital transformation. We covered about cybersecurity. We covered AI. And also, you know that I host subject matter experts, entrepreneurs, startup founders with me. But today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I have with me Jason, and I will not reveal anything. I will let Jason introduce himself to us. Jason, welcome to the show. Can you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Yes, I was going to say, Mehmet, first of all, thank you so much for having me. It's a great honor to be here. Hello, everyone. Just to introduce myself, my name is Jason Dietrich. I am from the United States of America, and I currently reside in the state of Pennsylvania. So I have been in the state of Pennsylvania for the last 27 years. So I currently am someone who works at NASA, particularly an organization called Virginia Space Flight Academy, where we are a local nonprofit organization that helps to empower and enrich students, especially the younger generations, in terms of STEM engagement and STEM learning. In fact, I'm actually going down to Virginia Space Flight Academy down in Wallops, Virginia, next week. Because I'm going to be meeting with our leadership team members. And then the following week, we have counselor training week. And then also we have the following week, we have our first week at camp, which is super, super exciting. So it's always been my dream to work at NASA. It wasn't an easy road to get there. But, you know, I'm just living the dream, and I'm loving the organization that I'm a part of. And I would love to share more in this podcast.
Thank you very much, Jason. And I'm gonna ask you about your story because and the reason, you know, why I found that you are a perfect match for us, because anyone who has dream to have his own company, his own business, should know that the road is not always easy, right? So, and for you, it was the same thing. Can you share a little bit, if you, as much as possible, about how you reach to where you are today?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, I was going to say this takes me all the way back to when I was 5 years old. So, which seemed like ages ago. But when I was 5 years old, I was diagnosed with a disability called hyperlexia. And for those of you that might not be as familiar with hyperlexia, hyperlexia is a form of autism. It's not directly in the line of autism, but it's like a branch below autism.
Mhm.
And that pretty much resulted in me having this incredible ability to read. I was able to read at such a high level, yet at the same time, I couldn't understand what I was reading. I struggle with reading comprehension. And, you know, I remember my parents asking me, you know, when I was younger, you know, hey, Jason, you know, you read this very big word very well, but what does this mean? And I would just be like, I don't know. I don't know.
Mhm.
So early on, you know, throughout my educational journey, I remember having teachers who unfortunately weren't very supportive of my skill sets and abilities. So I often struggled a lot when I went into elementary school. But then once I got to middle school, there were a couple of teachers who introduced me to astronomy, earth science, and also chemistry and physics. And I knew immediately I was hooked
Mhm.
because, you know, I realized that with STEM education in general, it provides multiple different highways of opportunity, and it was very hands-on. I am the type of person with my hyperlexia disability to be hands-on. And and I've realized, Mehmet, as well, that with my disability, even though I struggle with reading comprehension, there have been so many wonderful benefits that have come out as a result of hyperlexia. Now, I've had to work, twice as hard compared to somebody else who doesn't have, the disability, but I have so many talents and so many gifts, not just in, STEM, but, in music as well.
Hmm.
And, I'm a strong advocator for myself. I had to be. And, you know, and I also consider the society's perception of, hyperlexia. I don't like when people mention a disability. That's often negative. Uh,
Right.
Dis is considered to be negative. So I don't have a disability. I have an ability. And that's, what I'm trying to, pass down, through my role, at NASA, and, also to the next generation. So, I remember then, getting into NASA based on, my teaching experiences in STEM as well. I taught during the COVID-19 pandemic, which was horrible. I think we all can agree on that. It was very difficult the last
Yeah.
couple of years. But I reached out to a head representative at Virginia Space Flight Academy. I took a chance. Again, I'm a strong advocator for myself, and I ended up getting the job. So you don't really know what's going to happen, but you can't, limit yourself. You have to reach out. You have to advocate for yourself, and I'm just, blown away that they, gave me a chance, and I'm very honored about.
What a great story, Jason. Now, you mentioned about STEM education, and the question I want to ask you, because you are an educator at the same time, so you get exposed to it early, when you were in school, and then it changed your life. Why? I know, like, some people would say, "Hey, I'm not interested in science. I'm not interested in math. I'm gonna go and do something else." But I believe, and this I want to see if you agree with me. STEM is something really important to have it in education. How STEM can help someone, even if they are not going to work for NASA necessarily, but how it can help them in their career lives, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely, Mehmet. That's a wonderful question. So, in terms of STEM education and STEM engagement, it's very hands-on, and it's very interesting in terms of how the education style or the way that we teach has evolved over time. I have learned that the traditional lecture setting that used to be done, when my parents were growing up, back in like the 50s, 60s, and 70s. That doesn't work anymore
Hmm.
because of all the advances that we have had in technology over the last, 30, 40, and, 50 years. There's a lot of, hands-on applications that are required, for the students to understand, some of the concept material. And, STEM education, it's incredibly hands-on. For example, at Virginia Space Flight Academy, we focus on rocketry, coding, robotics, and then we also do drones. So
Hmm.
all of the campers that come to our camp each week, we have a different set of campers that come each week, but they get to design model rockets. They get to even launch them, which is super, super cool as long as the weather permits. Um, and then they also get the opportunity this summer. We're actually implementing an opportunity for our campers to take a drone certification test where, believe it or not, they're actually going to learn about the process involved in terms of not only how to fly drones, but also where to fly drones. Because in some places, in the United States, there are, approved places to fly drones, some places
Hmm.
can't. So it's through those, applications that will help to light the spark in somebody's imagination. And, that's what we're trying to do. We're not doing a traditional, lecture and like note taking, quizzes, tests, that sort of a thing. We're giving them the opportunity to experiment through the use of the scientific method and through the process of trial and error. So, and by doing that and by incorporating, collaboration, that can really help enable, the student to like the spark inside their minds and, really get them to think about STEM engagement and STEM education because it's all about critical thinking.
Yeah, that's great insight again. And um, like sometimes when I have guests, we discuss about that, the I'm focusing about education because it shapes us, right? At the long term. And this is not something related only to the US or Europe or this part of the world. Like we always see that there is a challenge that we need to pass. How important for anyone, who's hopefully watching or listening to this episode to acquire, the methodologies of STEM into education in general. And the reason, Jason, I'm asking you this question now, what we are seeing, I mean, because we work in I worked in academia, by the way, for some time. I was working in the university in the IT department, and then I went to the corporate world. And the common thing that we see is that these young people, when they graduate, they go face something which they didn't see in university or in college, right? So, what should we do to have these guys, when they graduate, ready to go and roll and rock, as we can say, you know?
Eh, Yeah, I was going to say that that's a wonderful question, Mehmet. There, so something that I have learned, Mehmet, over the course of my experience is, there's a lot of emphasis, not just here, in the United States, but around the world. But it's in terms of letter grades, and there's always this emphasis where we have to meet a particular standard or we have to give letter grades of A through F, that sort of a thing.
Mhm.
Personally, to my end, I do not believe in letter grades because that doesn't define you. Okay, a particular letter grade, if you get an A, B, or let's say a C, that doesn't define you. But if you have the if you have the motivation and the little spark that I spoke about inside your head to pursue, a STEM opportunity, that's the way to go. So the sky's the limit. So one of the things that we are trying to do at our Virginia Spaceflight Academy is in terms of incorporating, opportunities that are different from the standards. We actually hold a year-round online STEM academy. So for anybody that is interested, in grades 2 through 8, if you have a child that's in grades 2 through 8 or a student of yours, we invite you to go to www.vafsa.org just to look at not only our space adventure camp opportunities that are offered during the summer, but also our STEM Academy, because we recently did a module where we spoke about video game development as well. Our theme was don't just play games, make them. So, and it was a wonderful, trial analysis with our students. Our students, were very engaged, and it took a lot of pressure off of them, in terms of, not being graded on such a letter grade. But because of all of these opportunities, this will really help students to pursue, STEM engagement. Because, if you think about it, Mehmet, as well, there are, very successful people out, in the world who have achieved, greatness in STEM, without a college degree. We
Yeah.
have one of our tour spaces that we visit. It's an aerospace facility. It's called a Rocket Lab. This CEO was self-taught, and he just has a high school diploma. So
Mhm.
doesn't matter, whether you have a high school diploma, whether you have a bachelor's degree, or, if you have a college degree. you can still be successful. And with the internet, there are so many opportunities to learn about, STEM through the use of YouTube videos. So, don't be limited in terms of, what sort of a degree that you have. There are many doors that are open, and there's many opportunities to even start a business as well that, in fact, they don't really teach you a whole lot, in college, which I wish that they did. So, but, spread yourself out. That's pretty much what I've learned, and that's why it got me to where I am today.
That's great. And what I can say, like, I'm talking to the young generations, guys. You are so lucky, at least luckier than me. I'm a little bit from the old generation because when I was at college, I think, yeah, there was no YouTube at that time. There was, if we still used the thick encyclopedias, even Wikipedia was not out there. I'm talking about 2002, 2003, that time. So yeah, Jason, like when you say NASA, it's like a dream, right? For everyone. Like, I have a daughter, and she say like, I want to go work for NASA one day, or at least I wish to, have the chance to work with someone there. Now, to be able to reach such a position or a place, what are the characteristics that someone should have to be able to work in a very prestigious, yeah, it's the science, I call it the science black hole of the universe, maybe because all the majority of the inventions, recently, at least in the recent times, came from NASA because they were doing some research there. So what are the characteristics for someone who dreams to work at NASA?
Yeah, I was going to say, Mehmet, great question there. It all, boils down to, these three characteristics. I like to go with the three C's. This is
Mm-hmm.
something that I value, and this has actually been passed down, from my family for many generations because, my family members were teachers and educators in different capacities. But
Mm-hmm.
the main three C's that you have to have if you want to work at a place like NASA one day is you have to be caring. So you have to care about, the subject material, and you also have to be motivated, to do so. Because if you're not motivated, then, there's really no way that you're going to be able to, light the spark inside your mind or be able to put a lot of, time and effort into your activities. So that's one thing. You have to be caring. You also have to be compassionate. That is something that is very important as well because you're working with a team. Where I'm working at NASA, I am working with similarly like-minded individuals who are passionate and engaged about STEM engagement and STEM advancement. So you have to be able to collaborate with other like-minded representatives, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with, dreaming big. So, when you think of a big idea, like we do at NASA, there might not be a plan necessarily, but you can certainly work, to get towards, that objective. One of the goals that we are planning on doing in the next couple of years at VASFA or Virginia Space Flight Academy is to put on we would have our own academy. We would have our own, building where we would offer a year-round opportunities in STEM engagement. So we have some ideas. It's big, but we are going to work together with our staff to make sure that the dream can become a reality. And I have utmost confidence and faith in that. And then finally, Mehmet, the other critical C that you should have is you should be a great communicator. You have to
Mm-hmm.
be able to share your story, just like what I'm doing. With hyperlexia. That's what got me there. That's what's very unique about myself. And you have to be able to share why you want to work at a
Mm-hmm.
NASA? What drives you to do that? So if you have those three C's, Mehmet, I mean, honestly, you could go anywhere. So, but it's very important that you are caring, compassionate, and are a great communicator because that will take you far in life.
I'm not sure if you would agree with me, but do you think there's a fourth C there, which I I expected one of them to be curiosity.
Yes, absolutely. I 100% agree with you in terms of curiosity. Yes, because with STEM engagement, like I have said before, if when you look up into the nighttime sky, just like what I do often, at the stars and at the planets as well, there's a lot of wonder and a lot of mystery involved.
Mhm.
So you have to have that curiosity as well in order to get you motivated. So I agree with you. That's 4 C's.
No,
Yeah.
because for me personally, Jason, like, and this is the reason I mentioned curiosity because some people think sometimes, like maybe it's hard to learn, and they say if you have curiosity in something, you would learn it. Like, and this is why you know your story also proved this as well. Now, uh, once you started to work with NASA, like, what are some of the most exciting or surprising things you have learned when you started to work there?
Wow. I was gonna say that's a very good question, Mehmet. I would probably say, one of the biggest surprises or, things that I have learned in relation to, my work at NASA is associated with the fact that, we don't follow at NASA any sort of state standards. For example, since I currently reside in the state of Pennsylvania, here in the United States, we
Mhm.
have specific standards in our public schools that the schools have to follow. And I found, as a public school teacher, to have it extremely limited. It was unfortunately. I felt like I couldn't use my curiosity, and there wasn't a whole lot of motivation in terms of applying, STEM engagement into the public school setting. So I was looking at an opportunity where I could use my intellectual curiosity in a very engaging way. So one of the things that we don't, really focus on are like state standards. We really focus on the true abilities of our team. And we also really focus on the abilities of the next generation, because that's what we're trying to do. We are trying to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion in terms of what we do at NASA. Because, just like from someone like me, who struggled with reading comprehension. I struggled in the public schools early on, but, once I was introduced, to STEM in middle school, I was immediately hooked. But since we don't follow, state standards, Mehmet, at the same time, that has really helped us, to dream big, to think big, and to, really apply ourselves in terms of giving all of the next generation students an opportunity to develop a curious mind in STEM.
That's really great to hear from you, Jason. Now, I want to go back to the STEM, right? So STEM is about science, technology, right, and
Mhm.
math. What's the E?
Engineering. Engineering.
Great, great. Yeah. So some people thinks that like each one of these, it can be it's by itself, of course, something. But what makes STEM, um, I mean, so robust as a methodology of teaching? Because the reason I'm asking you, Jason, some people they say, "Hey, I'm good, for example, at technology, but I suck at math, for example." Right? So, and I am one of these guys, by the way. I wasn't good at math at all. Like, I got it after I graduated. This is another story, maybe because they taught it wrong to us. But really, like, how each one of these four letters is important, and is it necessarily always to be brilliant at all the four to reach to some place like NASA or any other prestigious place?
Yeah, that's a great question, Mehmet. No, it doesn't. You do not have to be good in terms of, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. That is not true, because we have a variety of people and representatives, even especially at Virginia Space Flight Academy, that come from a diverse set of backgrounds. Some are science enthusiasts, some are tech enthusiasts, some are engineering enthusiasts, and some have more of a stronger math background. um, they are math background enthusiasts. So it doesn't matter, in terms of becoming an expert in all of those subject areas. If you are, that is fantastic. So that'll really give you an opportunity to branch out even further. I know from my end, I was actually very good with math, as well as the other subjects in STEM. But I remember my father used to tell a story how his father was considered to be a genius at mathematics. So that actually got passed down to me as well, fortunately. So um, but in relation to just knowing all of the subject areas, if you don't know them right now, that's totally okay. But as you are collaborating with other like-minded STEM individuals, there are many different opportunities in terms of learning even further. I'm a very passionate individual who cares about learning new material and learning new subjects. And, there's this great quote that I look at in my bedroom every single day. It's by Nelson Mandela. And he says that education is the most powerful weapon that you can use to change the world. So, based on that quote, you can be the person that makes all the difference in the world. But, based on, who I'm interacting with, at NASA through a variety of different subjects, we are able to target, many different sectors of the next generation, and we're able to reach out to a whole, next generation. Because if we just had, science enthusiasts, Mehmet, at, NASA, you know, then we couldn't really, target those that are into technology, that are into engineering, and that are into math. But since we have a culminating aspect of everyone, we're able to target a whole diverse set of audiences. So it doesn't matter, what skill set or level that you have. As long as you are passionate and you are curious, then you can work at NASA.
That's great to hear. Now, a lot of things are happening in technology space right now. What is the thing that it mostly excite you, Jason? Like, like you say, yeah, like, this really gonna be something. There should be more studies about it. There should be more research about it. What is that? Like, it can be multiple things, by the way. It doesn't have to be only one topic. What are the topics like you are so passionate about now that are about to change the world? I would say.
Yeah, wow. I was going to say that's a very good question there, Mehmet. I think two, topics come to my mind in relation to, what I'm very excited about. One of the things that, I have seen, on the news, and, there's talk through news articles as well, and that is going to Mars. That is definitely something that, I have seen.
Wow.
We have a company in the United States. It's called SpaceX,
Mm-hmm.
and CEO of SpaceX, his name is Elon Musk. He has been talking about going to Mars, and then, potentially building a civilization on Mars. So he is looking, beyond the moon, which is, absolutely wonderful. There's nothing wrong with the moon. I mean, in terms of when we explored that, and, when Neil Armstrong said, that's one small step for man, one
Right.
giant leap for mankind. That was a game changer. And, that really helped to, push the envelope in terms of, looking out even further. And that's one of the opportunities, that Elon Musk and SpaceX and, other organizations here in the United States are looking at. So that is definitely something that, I am extremely passionate about. And, that is definitely something, if I were to get that, opportunity, I would, love to, go to Mars. I'd have to think about in terms of like living on it. I think there still needs to be some more investigations there, but they are doing it without
Right.
a doubt. But it would be, very cool to see, civilization on Mars, that could survive as well, just like on planet Earth. That would be super amazing. And I think, something else, Mehmet, that, I'm also thinking about as well, and I could see this as a true potential, with the Virginia Space Flight Academy.
Mhm.
I'm also thinking about, actually going up, into space as an astronaut. And, I am someone, for those of you that are seeing, I'm a very tall guy. I'm 6'4", 6'5". My father's 6'8", so I'm sure you see where I get my height from. But, in terms of, people that, are tall like me, what I envision, Virginia Space Flight Academy doing, at some point is basically whoever is the valedictorian or, the salutatorian, of our graduating class. That would be so cool to take them up, into space, to blast them off, and they could share a motivational speech, from space.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that is something that, I've been thinking about, doing as well. And, for some people that might say, you're crazy with that. Well, yes, I am, but I'm dreaming big. So, those are a couple things that I'm thinking about, but I am really, really excited about that. And that's what gets me up in the morning. And that's what motivates me to pursue STEMming.
I love this because I read a book recently. It's an old book, it's not new. It's called Think Big, right? And, always in my mind, the famous quote by Steve Jobs: the people who are uh, crazy enough to think they can change the world are the people who actually does it. So, um, as we are coming to an end, Jason, like, what could you advise, someone who is now watching this or listening to us and dreaming about having his or her own startup, or they are dreaming to become entrepreneurs, or maybe they are dreaming to to achieve any certain goal? What you can tell them?
Yeah, absolutely, Mehmet. That's a great question there. So, for those of you viewers that are listening in, that are thinking about becoming a entrepreneur, or also are thinking about working at NASA too. I do both. As an entrepreneur and as working at NASA. If you are thinking it, you need to go for it. And, one of the big things that I have actually learned, Mehmet, over the course of, my lifetime over the last couple of years is if you have a curiosity, if you have something that is, inside your mind, that is actually, believe it or not, that is God talking to you. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and God is giving you a preview in terms of your life's experiences and your life's journey. I wouldn't be where I am today, without, God's guidance and, for him talking to me inside my head in terms of, working at NASA. So one of the main things that you have to, think about is if you get that, spark for something like entrepreneurship and working at NASA, from God, you know, that is his plan for you. And you have to trust his guidance, and believe me, he will take you on a journey. You might not always know the answers, and believe me, I don't. No one does. But at the same time, if you trust him, then you will, really get to a particular point in your life where you will reach your dreams of, financial independence. That's something that I've been dreaming of as well. But you also have to be patient, so that's something that you have to consider as well. And then, secondly, once you have that, intellectual curiosity and spark, it's very important, that you keep it to yourself. one of the main things that, we typically do is sometimes we may share an idea, with a family member or, with a friend, and, that person, might shoot it down. Well, the only reason that they're doing that is because God hasn't implanted that inside their head. So they can't see it. Only you can see it. Okay. So that's your gift. That is your true passion. If it is given to you by God, then that's what you should do. That is the skill set, that you should pursue. And believe me, once you, keep it to yourself, the sky's the limit. So don't ever let anybody, dissuade you from, pursuing an opportunity like working at NASA or, as a business entrepreneur. So basically, if you have that curiosity, ladies and gentlemen who are watching, just go for it. Because, basically from where I am now, I am, living the dream. I am very motivated. I am incredibly happy. And I'm really making a difference.
Wow. Like, this is a great advice for whoever is watching or listening. I would add just two things to what Jason mentioned. You talked about being patient and curiosity. I would add consistency, like
Mhm.
keep trying, and perseverance, because I learned it the hard way. I was always saying I'm gonna one day work for big multinational companies. I didn't achieve this until maybe 15 years after I graduated, but I was keep knocking the doors until I did it. And yeah, like same as you happened to you also, Jason, and really very, I would say, inspiring words from you. Now, as we come to an end, I have a very famous question. Okay. Yeah, and the question is, what you wish that I ask you, which I didn't.
What you I was going to say in terms of what you wish that I would ask you, Mehmet, is one of the things that I just wanted to express to everybody was in terms of how to get involved at Virginia Space Flight
Yeah,
Academy.
please. Yeah,
Um,
please.
so
Go ahead.
yeah, absolutely. So for those viewers that are watching or listening in to this podcast, here are some very cool ways that you can get involved with Virginia Space Flight Academy. So what you all need to do is you need to go to www.vasfa.org, and it will take you to our Virginia Space Flight Academy website. And on this website, you'll actually get to see all the different programs that we offer, which is our Space Adventure Camp, including our STEM Academy modules that we offer, year round as well. And then there's also, some opportunities, for scholarships as well. For any
Wow.
that was able to get admitted into our camp, because registration occurs in early January. I know for this summer, it's a little bit late to enroll in our camp because everything's pretty much sold out now. But in the future, there is an opportunity for anybody to, pursue a scholarship. So for any camper ages 11 through 16 years old that you know of that wants to go to Space Adventure Camp during the summer at Virginia Space Flight Academy, please look into these opportunities. You can also see about, who our team is. And we also look for different sponsors and partners that can support us. And also, too, you can subscribe to our newsletter. So in the news and updates, tab, you can actually go to a place where you can actually type in the best email address for you, where you'll be able to actually get access to all the updates that Virginia Space Flight Academy is doing, for this summer and, in the future. And also, too, Mehmet, as well, something else I wanted to explain to the viewers as well is
Sure.
Virginia Space Flight Academy. This is our 25th anniversary year. So this is a huge deal for our organization. And we are asking for donations. So we are trying to reach our $25,000 goal this year of, really putting forth, opportunities for students to pursue STEM engagement and to pursue an opportunity to go to a space adventure camp, during the summer. So we just ask, for the viewers listening as well, to please make a donation in any amount, so that way we can reach our $25,000 goal as well. So by doing that, you'll be able to see all the cool updates that Virginia Spaceflight Academy is doing. And we have a couple thousand subscribers to our newsletter. Please also follow us as well on Facebook and also Instagram, Virginia Spaceflight Academy. So you'll be able to see all of the cool posts in terms of, what's going on throughout the year. So I just wanted to explain those opportunities to everyone.
That's great. I will make sure that the links, whether the Academy website or the social media handles that you just gave, Jason, they will be available. You will see them in the episode description, or you will see them on, I will post them on my own social media accounts as well. So everyone will be able to see. The good news, Jason, just for you to know, and maybe I should have told you this before we start. I'm really grateful for everyone. My audience are spread across all over the world. Actually, now, surprisingly, although I'm based in Dubai, the United States is number one from a number of audience, and then followed up by United Arab Emirates, which where I'm based in Dubai. So we have a very diverse audience, I would say, and for the people who are in the States, because you are like on the same time zone or so on, and you can make it for joining the academy on the website that Jason mentioned, which you will find it in the episode description. Don't hesitate to do this. And people abroad, if you're also interested, you can also subscribe to the newsletter and follow the academy on the Facebook page and Instagram page, which will also I will be posting in the episode description. Jason, thank you very much for this discussion. Thank you for giving all these insights, sharing your stories and your own personal story as well, and the information about STEM. The reason, again, I'm repeating this to the audience, maybe you would ask me, Mehmet, what's the relation of, CTO show, technology, and, what this? I big believer that sharing stories is sometimes more important than talking about the technology alone, because and everything starts with learning, and learning, it's not only in school or in college. Learning can happen like the same way me and Jason we are chatting today. This is why I'm so passionate about the podcast. The reason I call it CTO, and maybe I'm repeating this to you guys, it's not only about chief technology officer. It's one part of it. It's, technology. As a CTO, you should understand business. As a CTO, you should be human and learn. So this is what the show is all about. Thank you very much for tuning in today. If you are watching us for the first time, please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are watching that through YouTube. If you are listening using your favorite podcasting app, also please subscribe. And don't forget to recommend us to your friends, families, colleagues. We are trying to get really rich content here. As you can see, Jason today shared really very, very important information with us. And if you have any feedback, any question about this episode or the show in general, don't hesitate to reach out to me by email. You can find me. I'm active more on LinkedIn and Twitter. And if you are interested to be a guest, same as Jason was today, again, don't hesitate. Don't be shy. Reach out to me. We can do arrangement for this. And you can be anywhere in the world. As you can see, I'm in Dubai. Jason is in Pennsylvania today. So I had guests from all over the world. So again, thank you very much for tuning in. And until we meet in the next episode.
Hit that subscribe button, share the show with your tech-savvy friends and fellow entrepreneurs, and leave us a review on your favorite podcast app. Your support means the world to us.